Sometimes praise to you, O Christ, is hard to say, isn't it? After what Jesus said. Pick up your cross and follow me, which means give your life away and follow me. And if you want to be my follower, that's what you have to do. Praise to you, O Christ. It's hard to do, though. Sometimes we don't want to say praise to you, O Christ. This verse is always special for me, though. If you notice, we are on what we call lectionary, and we have a pattern of text that we use every 3 years. And so we use the same text every 3 years, except for John 3:16, we use that like 3 times a year. So it's hard to write that sermon every year, or every couple months, I should say. But this text was every 3 years. This was the first text that was when I went on internship at Calvary Lutheran Church. It's the text that was my very first Sunday there. And I was just thinking this week, I go, wow, it's been 3 years since I was an intern. And then I thought, no, it's been 6. Wow, I'm getting old. Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. But it just always brings me back to that day. Which means most of these texts now is the third time around on, so that's fun. But this text is always troubling for me as well, because it's Peter doing what we would all do. Last week we had Peter giving the right answer, right? Remember Peter, Jesus says, "Who do people say that I am?" And Peter says, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And Jesus looks at him and says, "Peter, you are so right. You are the best disciple I've ever had, and I'm going to build my church on you. I'm going to make you the Pope." That was all last week. Well, this is the same continuation of the same text. It's like literally like 6 verses later that Peter pulls Jesus aside and said, "You need to stop saying stuff like that. Because people do not want to hear those words, and we don't want to see you die, so just stop talking like that." This is where Peter pulls Jesus aside and said, "Listen, my ideas, my agenda are more important than yours, and I want you to do what I think you should do." And Jesus says, "Get behind me, Satan." Literally, the guy who 6 verses earlier, Jesus acclaimed for his faith, he now calls Satan. "Get behind me, Satan." And I think it's so easy to understand Peter's position because we've all been there. I just think about my life over the past week, the things that have been important to me, the things that have been number one on my agenda for certain days. If you know me, spend any time with me, you know how much I love sports. And sports, I play softball twice a week. And this summer, I think between my 2 leagues, we went like 14 or 16 and 3, something like that. And so we've been winning, and I just love, for whatever reason, I love to win. It's a problem. I was talking with Tim Draney about the golf outing, and last year, or 2 years ago, our golf team won the Briar Golf outing. Last year, we tied for the win. And I told Tim, I said, "We're going to get it this year." And Tim goes, "Why?" "Well, I don't know. Just because I have to win." "Why?" "I don't know. Because it feels good." It's just a problem that I have. Sports are important. And kickball, we have kickball on Monday nights. Our kickball team finished the year winning like 5 or 6 in a row. It's just a lot of fun. I just like sports. I like to win. And you know what? Don't look at me all judgmentally. Because you all live in North Texas. Sports is like religion around here, right? Salt Lake football, Salt Lake Carroll football, Friday night, how many thousands of people there? I heard last night, Tim told me that on the Christian radio station, they actually do play-by-play of the games on Friday nights. They stop playing praise and worship songs and play South Lake football. So don't tell me I'm the one that has a sports problem. And then fantasy football started. It's my favorite time of year. Had a fantasy draft last week. Had another one tomorrow. I switching leagues, getting in George Sakakini's league. George, what grade are you starting? 3rd grade. And he's the defending champion of our fantasy football league. And I've been playing fantasy football for 15 years and I've never won a league. I'm coming for you, buddy. I really enjoy sports. But it's not so much that I enjoy sports so much, it's just the amount of time that I spend playing sports, watching sports, talking about sports. It's not that I'm doing something wrong. It's just that is what is number one on my agenda for a lot of the time. During my week, I spend a lot of time talking about sports, texting people back and forth about sports, about the Tigers and the Royals and all these things going on. Sports are just really important to me. Another thing that I spend time on during the week, and I imagine you do too, is checking my retirement account, checking my bank account to make sure I'm not any fraudulent charges, something that I spend time on, checking to see what funds I'm invested in. You see, it's not a bad thing to do, but I've come to the realization that the time I spend on sports and the time I spend looking at my retirement account is time that I've wasted in the eyes of God. Because God doesn't care if I win or lose. God doesn't care what growth fund my retirement is in. It's not part of God's agenda. It's not part of God's plan. It's part of my agenda. It's part of my plan. I need to be more interested in what's God's agenda. What is God's plan? I need to stop telling Jesus what I want Jesus to do for me and start asking, Jesus, what can I do for you? And I think Paul nails it today. I think these are lessons that we can all learn from. He starts with, let love be genuine. That's God's agenda. To genuinely love each other. That means loving genuinely the people who sit next to you in church on Sunday morning and the people who sit next to you at work on Monday morning. How many people do you tell on a weekly basis that you love? Think about that. I was thinking, there's only one person I tell on a weekly basis that I love. And you can probably guess who that is. I tell my dog I love him too. But I don't know if that counts. I just feel like when I'm petting, I need to say something. So, but really that's it. I tell my parents I love them occasionally. I tell my nephews I love them occasionally. It's probably been a real long time since I told my sisters I love them, probably at their weddings, or it's just not something we say to each other very often. And although I feel like I love my friends and would do anything for them, I never say that, because it's just weird. When I started seminary, there was a group email that one of our classmates sent out, and he finished the email with God loves you and so do I. I'm like, well, that's kind of creepy. It's just a word that I don't use very often. Although, I feel like I need to say it more. Because if love is genuine, it needs to be spoken as well as shown. And I truly do love this church and everyone here, and I feel like I need to say that more often, to let love be genuine. Now I realize that you're not going to go to church Monday morning and the guy sitting next to you or whatever in your job, like, hey, I just wanted you to know before we start work today, I love you. I mean, he or she running HR, right? Got a problem. But I think we can learn to love one another. And I think what Paul is talking about here is truly caring about each other. And by that I mean wanting the best for one another. Wanting the best for the person sitting next to you. And so I'm going to ask you to do something I learned from my preaching professor, Charles Booth, that I've never done before. I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, I want the best for you. Turn to somebody sitting next to you and say, I want the best for you. But it's not enough just to say, I want the best for you. I want you to turn and say to them, and if you need help figuring out what the best is for you, or getting to the point where you can live the best life possible, you can count on me to help. So just turn and say, I'll help. Turn and say, I'll help. Notice what I said, though. It's not our job to tell somebody what the best is for them. but it is our job to help them live the best life possible so they can be the best husband or wife, aunt or uncle, father or mother, grandmother or grandfather. If you're living the life you are called to live, that God has put you on this life to do, then you can be the best father, mother, you can be the best in relationships that's possible. And that's what we need to be here to do, to help each other find that place in our lives. Let love be genuine. The second is show hospitality to strangers. The text says that. Paul says that. Show hospitality to strangers. One of the things I love about my job is all the times I get invited into your house. Michelle and I get invited into your house. It is so fun to go to your house and to eat a dinner with you or just spend time with you. And it's very humbling. We come with some baggage, with food allergies and that kind of thing. And when you guys go out of your way to make certain recipes you've never tried before, to make us feel welcome. And it's just so humbling, and so we just love doing that. We just love being in your homes and getting to know you on a personal level, and the hospitality that you show us is just tremendous. And it started at the very beginning when we were all just a bunch of strangers, or at least we were strangers. And it's something that we do that we're getting better at on Sunday morning, too. Not that we haven't been good at it in the past, but remember 2 years ago, our consultant came and said, well, you guys need a nursery right there. And I said, well, I like having my office right there. And we need visitor parking spots. Well, we don't have, and we need a bathroom sign. Well, everybody knows what a bathroom is. But we did those things, and you know what? We've gotten better at hospitality. And we need to get better at hospitality. But what about outside our walls here? I've been engaged with other South Lake pastors this week about something that's happening that you may have heard about and how we respond to. If you go 100 yards that way, there's a building that recently sold. It used to be a church, and it was purchased by a Muslim group. There's going to be a Muslim group gathering for worship 100 yards that way. How do we respond to that? And I've been talking to other South Lake pastors, and they're all over the place. You know, people, I don't believe Muslims are going to heaven. So how am I supposed to be in a relationship with them? And, you may believe that. I don't know. I just trust that God is loving and God is faithful and God is graceful. I want them to have a place to worship. Because if you remember, the night we went caroling about a year and a half ago, we walked around subdivision and sang at people's doors, and we got invited into one house. Just one. A Muslim house. A family was having dinner and said, come on in and join us. That had a profound impact on me. And they may be going to that church. How are we going to welcome them? Someone had the idea of making a cake or something and taking it over to them and saying, welcome to the neighborhood. And I thought, what if we took it a step further and actually invited them to do service projects with us? Is there anything wrong with us serving with them? I don't think so. I don't know. We need to figure that out, though. We need to figure out what it means to be hospitable to our neighbors. And then the text says, to live at peace when possible. There is conflict all over the place. You don't have to watch the news very long to see it. It's within our borders, it's at our border, and it's far outside our borders. Conflict is all around us. How can we live at peace in a world where conflict rules? I think it starts with our families. It starts in our homes, learning to live at peace with the people that we spend every day with. Part of my premarital counseling. The first step of premarital counseling is finding out what causes you stress and when you're the most stressed, and what causes you stress and when you're the most stressed, and how do you deal with stress, especially when you get home from work and you're all stressed out and your spouse had a great day and wants to talk about it, and you say, I just need 15 minutes. Instead of saying, listen, I really don't want to talk right now, then you get in a big fight, right? So it's learning how to be in a good relationship with one another. If we can learn how to be in good relationships with our families, with the people in our community, And then, in a broader sense, when we travel around the world, learn how to live at peace with one another, that's the only way the world's going to get better, is when people treat people better. And that's our job. It's hard to do, though. It's really hard to do. Peter was the top disciple, and Jesus says, "Get behind me, Satan." You see, I think what Satan does best is lets us live a life apart from what God wants, but makes us believe that we're good people. You can live a life where your passions and your agenda is number one, and Satan's going to say, "Don't worry, you're a good person." What a tragedy if we miss out on what God has planned for us. Which is why I love this Isaiah text this morning. If you turn back to me, I will welcome you back. If you turn back to me today, I will welcome you back. And if you leave again tomorrow, I'll welcome you back on Wednesday. And if you leave again on Thursday, I'll welcome you back on Friday. And if you leave again on Saturday, I'll welcome you back on Sunday. And if you leave again next Monday, I'll welcome you back in 2025 or whenever you turn back. God is always there, always ready, always waiting. Because God never stops loving us. Amen.